Well, don't you hate it when you jump on camera and you find junk on your shirt? All right. Hey, folks, how you guys doing? Can you hear me? Are we doing all right? Emma, Arlene, James, Primal Cry, Donnie, Holly, Amy. Who else is in here? James. Who else? Sue, Lisa Ray, and Andrea. Who else is in here? I saw somebody else. Sheldon, I saw you earlier. Sue. Wow. I just heard about an hour and a half ago, which for whatever reason, my head was not uh, looking and previewing anything else that was going on. Um, Bigfoot Odysseys, um, main guy there, passed away last night. And I want to give a shout out to Carrie Arnold's wife, Linda. God bless you. I know it's hard. He passed away yesterday, about 3 a.m. And just want to let you guys know that my heart goes out to you and my prayers go out to you. Old religion dystopia. Hey, what's going on? So, sends prayers out to Linda Arnold. So, can you put a one in chat if you can hear me? Which I think. Let me go over here to the settings and see audio. Yeah, should be able to. All right, so it looks like it. But yeah, definitely. Gee whiz, I did not know anything about it. I've gotten all kinds of uh, heads up since then that Carrie Arnold has passed away in a car accident yesterday. So I'll be saying a prayer here in a little bit. But how you guys doing? Tonight we'll be going over I found some TikTok Bigfoot stuff. So we'll be doing that and taking along some crazy open line calls about whatever it is you want to talk about. Hopefully about monsters, since it's still summertime, but people are putting out all this fall stuff, even Halloween stuff already. I'm like, can't you just wait? But yeah, I've seen so many freaking monster whatever TikToks and Halloween stuff popping out. At least candy will be going around. I don't want that. That would probably go crazy with my blood sugar. But gee whiz, what are you guys drinking tonight? I saw that promo cry number 5. Hey Barbie, what's going on? Let's see. We got Jean Paul. Hey buddy, salute to you, brother. And Holly, talk to your mother was fascinating. Shirley, tell her that I will definitely give her a call back and have another conversation with her. It was fascinating to talk to your mother. So, Amy's got a seltzer. Cheryl Kunkel. Hey, Cheryl, what's going on? But again, for the folks that just joined in, please like and share, subscribe, or not, whatever you want to do. Hit a thumbs up or a thumbs down, wherever you may be on the platforms that I am on. I'm over on Twitter. I'm also doing a live stream over on my Facebook page. And of course, here and over on the Paranormal Radio app in the Dark Waters channel. So Carrie Arnold has passed away, unfortunately. He was in a car accident. And if you want to, you can go over to Bigfoot Odyssey's Facebook page and then, get the particulars. But I'm not going to go over any particulars other than the fact that he has passed. And he's one of the best that was among us in the Bigfoot community. A God-fearing man, and I did not have the fortunate luck to have talked with the fellow. I knew a bunch of people that knew him personally. I just never talked to the fellow. But God bless him. God bless Linda, his wife. I know she's probably in all kinds of things that you could probably relate to. So I'll be saying a prayer for her. in just a little bit. But let's see, we got about 2 more minutes. Let's go ahead and get the prayer out of the way. So if you've just joined in, I usually start my shows out with the topics that I do touch on. You never know what you'll attract, but I do start the show out with prayer, start and end the show with prayer, and I'll explain the reason why behind that here in just a little bit. I humbly ask our Lord Jesus Christ that if it be in accordance with your holy will, that all curses, evil, demonic involvement, and or attacks being sent against us be blocked and sent back from whence it came. Dear Father in heaven, please send your angels of mercy, healing, and support to Frank, Warren J., Shelly and Aiden, Amanda and Robert Quigley, Gracie, Julian Jeff, Sharon Guy, Patrick, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron Erica, Lakea, AJK, Claire Alice, Doll for Spiritual Strength, Gil and Jayla and Breland, plus their mama Janice, Stimulate, and Carrie Arnold's wife Linda. Please, dear God, send your angels to all those folks and those that do not have a spoken prayer. Please bless those folks. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. So tonight, I'll dedicate this show to Carrie. Like I said, I'd never talked to the fellow. I've been a part of his live streams and stuff when he was on Bigfoot Odyssey. And, always enjoyed his content. I always enjoyed how he saw things. Definitely one of those amazing fellows. And I would assume sooner or later I would have been either on live stream with him or interviewing him or vice versa or whatever. But God didn't see fit to give that time. So, but God bless him. God bless Linda, his wife. Hey, Big Cole, what's going on? Arlene, how is your mother? I haven't sent a message out to you in a little bit. Hope you've been able to get her to smile today. Let's see. Marie, Carrie Arnold of Bigfoot Odyssey and the YouTube channel. Done a lot of research and did some documentary. They did a documentary down in Florida for the skunk ape, if I remember correctly. Passed away yesterday in a car accident. So, yeah, absolutely agree there, Arlene. Absolutely. So, definitely one of those things. Tonight we'll be going over monsters. I've got a few things that I've got a couple of videos and whatnot. Where am I doing this here? I'm going to replay Beth's North Carolina, whatever the heck that was, that she shared with me about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. No, I didn't want to go to Beth's Cafe. I wanted Beth's audio. But if you want to do open lines, I'm doing open lines tonight, 931-994-6917. I'll drop a link in the chat if you want to jump on the live stream. And let's see, where did I put that? Beth. No. Oh, I ain't seen that name in a while. Well, I know stuck it over here. Let's do it over here. Beth. Aha, here we go. Got it. No, I did not want to play it on my... Oh, just a second. Quit. Play with QuickTime Player. That's what I want. All right. I know a couple of people that follow me over from TikTok over in here, and I saw a couple of people jump in there. But I know DW Dark Waters has done a short little blurb on YouTube about it. Comparing, I think what he paired this up against was the Sierra sounds. I may be absolutely wrong about that, but it sounded like Sierra sounds that he paired this up with. And give me just a second so I can pipe this rascal in to, let's see, Ring app, QuickTime Player. That's the one right there. So about 3 weeks ago, and Beth's been on my show twice already. Once to play this sound, which is about 7 minutes long, just a few seconds shy of 7 minutes. I'm not going to play the entire thing. I'm going to probably move this over to about right there and start playing it. Now, this is out of her backyard along with her husband. And her husband on the first show did pipe in and confirm that, yeah, this was out of her backyard and recorded off of a smartphone. And the audio isn't, isn't the best. But I'll tell you this, it'll definitely get your ears perked up. Okay. So this is best recording out of Central North Carolina. That's about as easy as I can probably get a hold of. And Beth, if you're listening in, I will definitely call you in the next day or two. I just had a lot of stuff going on. So here it is. This is best recording out of her backyard, which she says this activity goes on nightly. Or at least once a month. She'll get this type of craziness going on in her backyard. And that's the end of that recording. That's just the last minute of a almost 7 minute recording that she shared. So that being said, I'm going to be talking to Beth in probably next day or so. Bass, what's going on, brother? Ain't seen you in a coon's age. So definitely, if you are of the same ilk as me, pray for Kerry Arnold's wife and family and friends of his unfortunate passing yesterday in a car accident from Bigfoot Odyssey. So I'm going to dedicate this show to Kerry and his Bigfoot Odyssey and the like. Hopefully, what we'll be going over tonight, and maybe get some good calls in. So, but if you want to be a part of the show, please, grab this link if you're in the chat over on YouTube and Chasing Through Sean G, or wherever you may be over on different platforms, Paranormal Radio app, or let's see, I'm on Twitter and Facebook at the same time. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to go live simultaneously along with everything else. I should be able to do this, but making prime rib sandwiches right now, buddy. Oh man, that bacon stuffed whatever that you had going on about 3 months ago, made that. That was a heart attack on the plate. Hey JK, what's going on, brother? But please send prayers out to Kerry Arnold's family, and because of his recent passing. And that's all I'm going to say about it. If you want to find out any more, go over to Bigfoot Odyssey's YouTube channel and give the condolences over there. But there you go. So I've got a few things that I pulled up. Excuse me. Let's see. Bass was trying to torture us. Man, Bass is just one of those guys that he likes to share what he can do best, and that's cook. Every time I have any kind of conversation with him, he always sneaks something in that has to do with food. And I'm like, well, heck, I will add that to my next grocery list to get. So Actually, I was trying to look up what was it, prime rib. I cut a prime rib and I couldn't find it anywhere. Nowhere. I'd probably have to go to a specialty butcher shop to get that. But I had a hankering for prime rib. But there you go. Silent Rain, I hope you and your mother's doing all right. But if you want to, give me a call, 931-994-6917. Open line, doesn't screen. I'll call in, that's great. If not, that's great too. Stacy, what's going on? Appreciate everybody jumping in. We the people. Hadn't seen you. Hey, brother. How you doing? But well, time to give them. Well, tell your mother I said hello and smile for me, Arlene. All right. So what I've got listed, I've got some old Bigfoot footage and I've got some new Bigfoot footage, and I actually got Sierra Sounds up. So I may play. Well, I don't even know what the heck this is. What is this? Whatever. What this was is freaking my dog out. Okay. So the first one is from Bigfoot underscore MI. I guess that's Michigan from 9-5. So I'm assuming this is something, but hold on a second. Let me share the screen here. Add it. The audio, Mr. D Knuckle, what is going on, buddy? Yes, definitely prayers for Carrie's family. This is something freaking out a dog walking through their backyard. So thank you for everyone that has tuned in. Definitely share this out. Get it out that I'm on the air. If you're over on the Paranormal Radio app or wherever you may be listening to me, jump on over to YouTube, Sean G, Chasing the Tree, Sean G, and be a part of the ever-growing chat over there. We got 43 people. Hit those thumbs up, folks. The more you interact, the more YouTube's algorithms say, hey, let's put this on more people's pages. So, but there you go. Definitely, if you want to be a part of the show, drop the link here for the folks. StreamYard, you can. All you have to have for StreamYard is a smartphone or a computer or whatever, but you have to have a microphone and a headset or something like that. Or you can have video if you want to show your face. You don't have to show your face, but it's easy to join. Just grab that link right there and jump in, or call 931-994-6917, or email me at the email down here at the bottom, Sean Graham at imdarkwaters.com. AJK, so no, I loved his live chats. Yeah, Carrie did some awesome shows. I know he was going around and being part of other shows and stuff here recently. And I caught a couple of shows. I did not. I think he and Dark Waters did a lot. I think they did a live show, a pre-recorded one, and put it out. But what do you think that is in this backyard here? Making this dog go all kinds of crazy stuff. Rothian, what's going on, brother? AJK, yep, Carrie was definitely one of the best in the community, for sure. Without a doubt. A Bigfoot, Lisa Ray says. And Bigfoot, Jean Paul says. Lisa Ray says Bigfoot. Amy says Squatch. I've got probably about a dozen of these videos. We'll talk about each one of them. If you've got a monster, whatever, it don't have to be Bigfoot. It can be Dogman. Anything that has to do with cryptids is fantastic. Hey, Isaac, what's going on? Marie, if you want to call in, I'd love to hear what you're doing here in the last little bit, or join in on the link 931-994-6917. If you've got Skype, look at Chasing the Truth 2018. So, yeah, Carrie's definitely one of the best out in this field of research and podcasting, show producing, uh, without a doubt. And I'm not going to go into particulars, but we did lose one of the best out there. Chris, what's going on? Appreciate you coming by. But we're currently looking at a few TikTok stuff, and I'm going to replay Beth from North Carolina, Central North Carolina's audio that she shared with my show 2 Saturdays ago. And she's been on my show, I think last Saturday, and talked about it. And I'm going to play the Sierra sounds, which I found the audio from Sierra sounds. But if it's copyrighted, I don't get, for whatever reason, YouTube's not allowing me to get monetized on this channel. So it's not like it's going to be a copyright strike or anything like that. So if it does, hey, they can have the money. Nobody's getting it right now anyway. So no big deal. But oh yeah, so majority of people are saying this is a Bigfoot aggravating the living snot out of this little dog out here. I'm looking for where the knees, how low the arms are in the footage. Okay, let's see if I can grab this. Let's see, where is the... See if I can grab it to where I can stop it and we can take a little bit better look at it. Give me just a second. Now it's falling. There's that thing. There's that thing. Now this is at 2 seconds, so let's go back to 1 second. And try again. Well, the one thing that sticks out, it doesn't have any neck, but costume can be costumes, and this is in somebody's backyard. It's not out in the middle of freaking woods, but excuse me. I don't know. The arms don't look that long. To me, arms don't look that long at all. What do you guys think? The majority that's chimed in has said Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Brown Dwarf, what's going on, brother? Did I make you a moderator? Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did. Moderator. Where is my... Oh, here we go. Yeah, I did. Great. Drop your link, Brown Dwarf, to your whatever YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Now, definitely follow Brown Dwarf. He's got some crazy stuff that he's going on. He does some interesting stuff where he goes out and he's boots on the ground, kind of fell over in California and in the region over through there. Sheldon and Don, legs look straight up and down to me. Yeah, now that you mention it there, Sheldon, absolutely. I can see that. They're not at that bent, classic Bigfoot stride. The stride that the Bigfoot has. Not at the bent angle. So it may be somebody in a suit, which personally I'm kind of wondering why somebody would dress up in like that. Edward, hey brother. Appreciate you coming by, man. God bless y'all. No muscle structure. Well, you can't see muscle structure over there, Sheldon. That's too far away. But it definitely looks like it's in some sort of a ghillie. Could be at best or worst a ghillie suit. Somebody in a ghillie suit walking through the woods, which I'm kind of wondering why in the world somebody want to risk that. But there you go. Next one up, since we've already looked at that. Hold on just a second. Let's go over here and click this right here. Next one is from Unsettling Talk. And apparently this guy was capturing it like a little TikTok or whatever with his little pup. And then whatever the heck that is in the background there. Trina, hey, what is going on? Sandra, appreciate you popping in. Lisa says, it's too hot to play games in the woods. It's a woolly suit. Might be behind a shot. Get his behind a shot. So especially in the middle of summer, and it does look. This looks like this is in the fall, so heat shouldn't be a problem. Whatever that is, that looks pretty stocky and no neck, whatever on it. It doesn't really show. Well, it does show just a little bit of swaying. It looks like. Sheldon said that's a little bit more convincing. So, I appreciate you tossing that in there. Well, let's see if we can get this TikTok thing. Let me grab that link and see where that goes. And I got too many freaking things open. Let's see what we got here. Chasing it. Well, I appreciate you dropping my chasing the truth thing in there. But I've got a few. Mostly what I do is little commercials, or I'll find something that is paranormal related. I will drop that in there and do some stuff. But hopefully sooner or later, I've got enough to do live streams. Obviously, I've got 12,000 or 1,229 followers. But if you want to follow me, go right ahead. If not, up to you. I will eventually learn how to do simulcasting from this point forward. All right, next one up is Bigfoot hunting. What is this thing? Bigfoot when he's had enough and decides he's now hunting for us. And this is from Journey to the Other Side. I guess that's what the other side. Yep. Over on TikTok. I've seen this video before, and I thought, well, maybe somebody hasn't been able to see these things. So, what do you think that is? That actually a loose ape? I've had this conversation before a couple times about why would somebody be out in the middle of nowhere, which that looks like that's fairly out in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? It might have a parking lot with a big hotel or whatever behind those pine trees, but never know. Sheldon says he's running scared. Let's see. Part of how it works is the various foliage sticks and whatnot into the netting on the suit. Okay. Oh, this is PEI. What are you talking about there? What is PEI, Luckham Spook? Have no clue what PEI is, but who is recording that? So you think it's fake? Primal Cry says it's fake. Now, I'm not saying that any of these are false or fake or made up. It could, all of it could be fake or made up. Oh, quit! You won't sleep tonight. Oh, yeah, probably. Appreciate the message. Prince Edward Island. Oh, okay. Is that where that's from? Maybe. That's been around a hot minute. But yep, I will not drink any more coffee after this one. I have water and a little bit of soda, but that's all I got left. So that was there. And these some old stock footage, back when they actually taking a picture was a thing to do. It was at great cost. It wasn't like you take 1,000 pictures of whatever, blinked or whatever. They actually had big rigmaroles where you sat in chairs where they hold you still for a few minutes. Carl King, what's going on, brother? But here are just a little bit of stock footage and other little things. This is from Pecos Wildlife over on TikTok, and that's a frozen Bigfoot. I think that one in particular was on display and finally has been disappeared in a private collection, if I remember correctly. Now there's some Patty footage and stuff there. I think I've got Patty's footage in here too, but hold on a second. I actually like that particular picture. Let me grab that real quick and move that back. Can you imagine? Now, back in the day, I actually was talking a little bit about some paranormal stuff and how, right as when I was born back in '70, prior to that, in the '50s and '60s, they were kind of phasing out where they had uh, what I'm going after had where they held funerals in individuals' homes. You know, had the body on display in funerals homes. And I was talking to actually Holly's mom at great length for about 2 hours. Fantastic person, but uh, one of the things they did was they did these uh, pictures um, of the dead body, and usually what happened was the dead body did not move, and then people would have uh, their last photograph with the dead body, and the people that were alive were blurred in the actual picture, but the dead body was perfectly clear on these old silver tintypes. But yeah, that's an old picture right there of something back way back when. And to have this done was at great expense. Great, you had to find somebody that actually had the equipment to do it, the means to do it, and to get this thing out. And say, hey, I need a picture. Can you find a picture? It probably took a couple of days to get somebody out there to take a picture, not just like you or me and grab an old smartphone here and click about a bazillion, pick the best one that had the best shading. You know, that being said, that these old pictures means 1,000 times more than what most people would think. In my personal opinion. So there you go. Next one up. Oh, this is open lines, by the way, folks. 931-994-6917. Please call in if you would like. Definitely would. I'll be playing Beth's from North Carolina, Beth's audio that she shared with me and comparing it to Sierra sounds from back in the '60s, I believe, whenever they captured that in a documentary. But there you go. And the next one up is a creature scares a horse. So, and this is from Last Days with a Z now. Last Days with a Z now. Last Days now. So something is. What the hell is that? That looked like a skull right there. No. Really? Is that Skinwalker? Huh. Now, is that real or let me get that up as big as possible there. So, what is this? Hey, Greg, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you dropping in. So, what is that? Is that somebody with a skull mask, or is that one of those skinwalkers that you keep hearing about? Lisa says she sold her saddle if she saw something like that. And apparently, that spooked the horse for sure. Well, Sheldon, I've got both the sounds up. I've got my recording of Beth's queued, and I've got the Sierra sounds, and we'll be playing both of those back to back a little bit, see how they both pair up. So, and Donnie Cho says snakes scare horses. Now, I don't think there's a snake involved in this particular one. It looks like whatever's behind that tree is scaring a horse. So there you go. And then Marie says, "Yikes! Looks like a skinwalker to me." Again, personally, I agree with you. I agree with you. Personally, why would somebody be other than I don't know, somebody being out in the middle of the woods, and that looks like that's fairly in a pretty good thicket. Why would somebody be out there with that particular whatever on costume? If that's a costume, well, why would they do that? Hey, Sean, I had a horse jump off a bank on me because he saw a wet stick on the ground. Well, whatever it is, whatever it might be, has spooked that particular horse out. So there you go. And let's see. Primal Cry says rake. Let me capture it and stop that particular thing right there. There you go. Got a text message. The tree looks too narrow for somebody to be behind. And yeah, I agree with that. Rothian says looks like forest folk. Could very well be forest folk. Um, sprites, fairies, you name it. What would be one of the forest folk you would think would be that? Shelly, hey, what's going on? Glad to see you. Eddie says shoot it and see. Well, that's one of my theories that I go along with these people that come up and say, well, everything is a suit. Dark woods, buddy. Glad to see you. I'm going to take, for the folks that just jumped in a little bit later in the show, I'm going to take Beth from North Carolina, Central North Carolina's audio that she was kind enough to share with me on my show and compare it to the Sierra sounds. So there you go. And then Holly says, every time I hear a rake, I can't help but imagine Dogman seeing a yard rake and freaking out. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Or the baby Bigfoot. All right. So I don't know what that is. Hawkins razor, which I think that tree is too thin for somebody to hide behind, unless that if that is actually somebody in a mask, is hadn't had a sandwich in about 3 or 4 weeks. And there's folks out there. I'm not one of those people. I had, look at me. I hadn't missed a sandwich in how many hours? 3 hours. So, but being out in the middle of the woods with a costume on, usually if you're in my neck of the woods, you automatically assume if anybody's out there, then it's not hiking or on a well-known trail. They're pretty well armed, and usually the people that are on the trail are armed around here. They have some definite abilities to sling a lead down range. So, but Sheldon says definitely creepy. All right. If you have any photos, videos that you'd like to share with me while we're doing this live show, send it to Sean Graham at iamdarkwaters.com. My new email address, the Sean G. Apparently, the old server got hacked and DW had to change Well, it does come from TikTok. Well, Joanne, everything on YouTube, name a platform that doesn't have fake crap on it. Could be fake. I'm not presenting this as anything other than show and tell today. So I'm not reporting this as real. It could be as easily fake as anything else. The tree is pretty freaking skinny, so whoever it is behind that tree, or if it is a person, is pretty freaking skinny. I'm just saying. I have a weird video helicopter that I think is a UFO. Well, Scott, send me an email at SeanGraham at imdarkwaters.com. Shell F, hey, what is going on? And oh, nice zoom. That is a nice zoom. Appreciate that, Shelly. Let's see. Let me save to downloads and then open it. Give me just a second. I'll get a nice tight whatever. Oh, yeah, that is actually pretty freaking awesome, man. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Stop sharing and I'll get a nice tight share screen grab. And this is what this is right here. Well, crap. So this is obviously something that, why would, that's the other thing. I know the world over has a lot of crazy people in it. Me for one. But yeah, that's what's behind that particular video right there. Is it a skull? Holly says. It sort of looks like a skull, but it also looks like it may have a little nose right there. Don't know. Eddie says, come out with your hands up. So there you go. Thank you for Shelly for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. And anytime I've ever been out and about in the woods, when I had the ability to go out, I always had a weapon on me. Yeah, it may have not been able to sling lead, but it could sling something else. Brown Dwarfs just got an email. Appreciate it, buddy. And what is that? Oh, all right. Here's something from Brown Dwarf just sent me. Give me just a second. Stop sharing. And share screen with what Brown Dwarf just sent me. So this just came hot off the press from Brown Dwarf in an email. And I appreciate it. I'm assuming that's probably from one of his TikToks. He's got a lot of TikToks over there. Shelly, I will send you a link to that particular one sec. I'll send you a link to that TikTok real quick, Shelly. So you can get a whatever you do your magic with. But there you go. What is that? Is that a? You can almost see right there in that particular picture from Brown Dwarf. Thank you, Brown Dwarf, for that. It's one from one of his videos. That particular picture, still whatever, I can almost see a face right here. Let me see if I can pull this out. Okay. Looks like there is a particular facial feature right in here between this foliage in the foreground. Looks like a forehead. And my thing, yeah, that's Brown Dwarf said that's from one of his videos. Brown Dwarf, if you don't mind, drop one of your links to your TikTok in the chat there. If you want to follow somebody that's over in TikTok that drops, some great content about this particular monsters topic, this dude right here, he's got it going on. Joanne, what's going on? Looks like a bear on his back. Okay. If you got the link to that particular, excuse me, if you don't mind, Brown Dwarf, drop the link to that particular TikTok video in the chat, and I'll grab it and I'll play it, and we'll see if it looks like it's a bear moving, or is this an actual still photograph that you did? Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm coughing. The season is about ready to change, so it might be something that I'm allergic to going on. Apologize for the cough there, folks. But there you go. Then the black subject under where you're pointing. Yep, I saw that particular thing right there. You've got the video. Does that video look like it could be a bear standing on its back legs? Now, the brown bears around here can only, walk on their back legs for a certain amount of time. I've seen them in the wild move, but they don't go. And Brown Dwarf said there's more than one possibility. Absolutely. But, one of the discussions I've had today is trying to, especially with this audio I got from Beth, I'm going to try to do a deep dive using my background in reading EEG and reading sleep studies and being able to recognize waveforms and EEG patterns and stuff to take the visualizers that are out there for these audios and start learning what looks like what. And I'll actually tell you, I have no clue what I'm doing with audio visualization, but I'll learn it and present it. And if I interpret it wrong, so be it. I'll learn it as I go along. So, or fighting with another bear. Could be. I don't know. But that is from Brown Dwarf. And the Brown Dwarf, look him. Hold on a second. I may have his link here. Let me pull his link up here. Hello. At first, let me look up Brown Dwarf. Pull him up. Aha, I found the fella. Right here he is. If you wouldn't mind to go over there and follow him along if you like TikTok. I've wasted enough time over on TikTok, and I finally got the daggum thing without having to show me a bunch of people dancing. Usually what I get is paranormal cryptid stuff for the majority. So I'm not a big dance freak, but there you go. That's the TikTok, but I can post the YouTube video. That's cool. I just posted your link to your TikTok page. So if you want to follow along with Brown Dwarf over there, he drops multiple videos daily, what it looks like from my point of view, but he's definitely got some stuff going on over there. Let's see. Anybody else out there if you got a story, it doesn't have to be a particular about Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever you need to talk about. In case anyone forgot, punch Sean's like button, please. Yeah, tickle that like button. There you go. Tickle that sucker. Make me grin. Next up, let's go back here and find out. Let's see. Scariest horse. I've already showed that one. Why did I have a double of that? Most terrifying Bigfoot encounter ever. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. This particular one is from the Happy Dead. And I'll share it out here in just a second. The Happy Dead is coming up. I think it's it. Yeah, there you go. Is this going to play or not? Nope. Most terrifying Bigfoot encounter ever. Says, I'll be honest, no bear, but doesn't really sound like a bear growl. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Let me pop in the audio. Pull audio in here. There we go. And here comes the audio.
Whatever Todd claims, that was a horrifying situation to be in, and he's lucky to be out of there alive. Todd is a very well-known Bigfoot researcher and has even claimed to capture Bigfoot on.
Oh, this is Todd standing. I don't know if you, for the folks out there that are in the chat over on YouTube, what do you think about Todd standing, particularly? One, if you believe his encounters, and he's a cool guy. Two, if you're on the fence, and three, if you think he's BS. But look at Thinker Thunker. He's got great videos and expert breakdowns on them. Yes, he does, and he's one of my favorite go-to folks. When he posts anything, I usually run over there and start watching it, whatever he breaks down. I don't agree with him 100%, but why would you agree with everybody 100% of the time? Amy says questionable. Eddie Petch says 1. Never heard of the guy. Todd Standing. Well, Donnie, you should look him up because he's one of the most, not most controversial. He's one of the controversial figures in the Bigfoot community. And Super Sleuth says, I think 3. Sorry, I haven't heard of him. Okay. Well, I am going to play this audio.
You just hear how terrified he is. He yells at whatever is out there. He lights up his flare, and you could even hear something growl at him. Todd was so horrified that he never returned to that same spot until the day when he went with Les Stroud. I know there are bears in the area because they actually capture one on a trap camera later on in the episode, but I'll be honest, I'm no bear specialist, but that didn't really sound like a bear. Whatever Todd claims, that was a horrifying situation to be in, and he's lucky to be out of there alive. Todd is a very well-known Bigfoot researcher and has even claimed to capture Bigfoot on camera.
So that's one of the pictures. Now, I actually, with Greg, I kind of agree with you about that. I think somewhere, I can't prove it. This is just hearsay on my behalf, so take it as you foresee. Well, as you see fit, just look him up on YouTube or look him up, Todd Standing, on any other platform. Google it or whatever. And you'll find all kinds of different videos. You never know. And Brown Dwarf possibly hoaxing, but he also has legit stuff in his opinion. I don't know. That big, you remember that Bigfoot skull that was over in, I think, BC about a month ago? Turns out it actually had a serial number on it and a shot through the head or whatever it was. Everybody jumped on board and said, hey, this is 100% real, and it turned out to be fake as you name it. So I was on the fence and said, well, if it's real, it's great. If it's not, it's great. The one thing that I paid attention to was it got a lot of free publicity out of everybody that talked about it. Wow, Thinker Thunker thinks he's fake, huh? I think his Muppets looks like him. Super Sleuth. Yeah. I think he has a lot of, if I remember correctly, he has a lot of makeup artist background in him. So there you go. And like I said, these videos are not I'm not reporting them as real. I'm not reporting them as fake. You make up your mind. But I just included this one as, this is one that's out there. So there you go. And here's the Facebook post from Linda Arnold. If you want to read it, pause the video if you like. But that's all I'm going to do right there. So there you go. Then let's see. This is for the non-believers. Okay, we'll try this up. Oh, this is Patty's. Never trust a man that calls himself Coyote. And apparently, this guy likes the Patty film. There's a lot of people out there that says the Patty film is absolutely fake from the 50s, mind you, 50s. And then Holly said, "What if a person really found a Bigfoot skull, but they couldn't present it because it'll be taken from them, so they reenacted it as a way of putting it out there?" Possibly, I don't know. I think if there are some Black Vault documentation that the FBI actually had Bigfoot DNA, and then it got lost for whatever. So Shelley said, "I don't doubt he has experiences with real thing, but to me, the image looked fake as fuck. Almost like doll eyes." Yep. To me, standing when he first flashed in pan, it looked amazing to me. And then he kind of got all over it. I kind of got over it pretty quick. And so, well, that's why in the world would somebody be able to get that much whatever? But you can't do a Bigfoot monster thing without having to throw the Patty film up, I think. So, and Charlie says, "I'm still trying to get over Carrie Arnold's death." Yeah, big shout out to Carrie Arnold's wife and family and friends. I personally have never spoke with Carrie. I had hoped to have spoke with him sooner or later. We had similar friends, like friends, but never got to the honor of speaking with him. But definitely prayers out to Linda, his wife, and his family. So, and Survivor Man, he's legit. Eddie Petch says. So, oh, excuse me for dropping the F bomb. Every once in a while, it slips out, and I try not to do it, but it comes out. It definitely comes out occasionally. So the next one up, since we've looked at the repeat of this one, best Bigfoot pictures. Did I just do this one? I think. And scary sounds. Let's see.
The DNA and bones are there.
I don't know if audio is. I've already done this one. Okay. And there's my YouTube. So this guy here, this kind of jumps into the Sierra sounds. This guy does like a mini documentary that kind of takes the documentary from Sierra Nevada, Bigfoot. And I stopped it at the time where the Sierra sounds start. So, and there's a reason behind this because I'm going to replay the audio that Beth from North Carolina shared with me, and I've played it about on every show that I've played or did since about 2 weeks ago. But I just wanted to play this to kind of have a comparison. So here it goes.
And this is the first time this ever happened to them, and they didn't have recording equipment, so the next time they went up there, they brought some recording equipment. At some point, Rob, Al, and some other hunters built this little bear came into camp or something. Like that. Approached their camp from the realized. The sounds carried throughout the trip, and on the second night, Another followed. It's the recordings, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. This personally freaks me the hell out. So here we go.
Here we go. There's that famous samurai chatter. So, that being said, let's go into the audio from Beth over North Carolina. Let's see. Let me rewind it. Play the last maybe minute, give or take. So here's Beth from North Carolina. All right, so that is the end of the audio that Beth sent to me. And that's the end of the videos that I got a hold of. So I'm going to remove that and stop sharing stuff. But yeah, what do you think about that audio from North Carolina from Beth? You think that's real? Is that, you know, some sort of common pet out there, one of her dogs, or maybe a coyote or a pack of wolves out there? What do you think? Amy says a dog man. And I'm going to drop a little bomb on you. Got a text message saying it's pretty legit to her, so that's cool. Pretty scary, Eddie Pet says. Lisa says, I think it's the first night that this played that actually Beth got jumped on. Lisa was listening in the background. I think she just had went to bed and she heard this and it woke her up for the rest of the show. Can you pretty please replay the audio? Okay. Give me just a second and I will jump back and replay. Let me share that out. Creepiest Bigfoot encounter ever. Let me pull this back about a minute. Okay. I got to where we can listen to it, and this is the Sierra sounds that I'm about ready to share with you. It's from TikToker What Up Docs. So if you want to go look at this and rewind and do whatever the heck you want to with it, feel free. But give me just a second to share the screen out to you guys. Share. What up, dog? There we go. Now, here we go. This is the actual Odyssey sound. Not the Odyssey sound. Excuse me. I've got to carry on my head. This is the Sierra Mountain sounds. That samurai chatter just gets me every time.
In 1971, in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, Al Berry and his
So there was the Sierra Mountain Sounds with the classic samurai chatter, which I don't know. I know ingenuity with humans can be rather robust, but who would think to go out in the middle of freaking nowhere, which this is obviously where these men were in the Sierra Mountains, to play audio and come up with, well, let's do samurai chatter. Now, that being said, I present you with what Beth from North Carolina shared with us a couple weeks ago, and I've had her on my. She called in about actually last Saturday night. Actually, so this is the last 55 seconds of her recording. All right, so that was the end of that recording. Like I said, if you want to go back on Dark Waters channel and look about 2 weekends ago on the 2 Saturdays ago or 3 Saturdays ago, and the entirety of that almost 7 minute recording is there. So, how exactly did she record this? Sheldon asked. She recorded this off of her smartphone. Along beside her husband in her backyard. She has no, from what I understand, she has no kids. She's got some dogs, maybe some cats, but I'll have her on the show and we'll go into great lengths. She's talked about she's seen dogmen, seen UFOs, orbs, you name it. She's had it in her backyard. So all I can say is, holy cow, whatever the heck is going on in her backyard. I would like to hear people's thoughts on the video I put up last night on my TikTok. Is there in Arkansas? Cheryl, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you a moderator. Grab that particular video link and drop it in the chat. So if you'd like to, go right ahead. Added you as a moderator there, Cheryl. Drop your link to that particular thing, and if you want me to, I'll go ahead and play it. Actually, I would like to play it. So if you would, Cheryl, I made you a moderator, so you can go ahead and drop that link in the chat, and we'll get it going. And if you'd like to, Cheryl, call in and talk to us about that particular video if you'd like. 931-994-6917, or if you'd like, grab this link right here. Where is the StreamYard link? Jump into the StreamYard itself. So let me remove that. Be kind. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. I just listened to Bigfoot Odyssey interview with the man who recorded Sierra sounds, and he explains everything on how he got those sounds. Yep. I'm trying new at this. Okay. Well, just grab the link that you would share out over on your TikTok and drop it in the chat box that says say something there, Cheryl, and it will post. Let me see if I can find it. Give me just a second. I'll try to talk while I'm doing this particular thing. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. I think yeah, well, let me go look for my, aha, here we go. Cheryl Chandler. Something went wrong. Please, something went wrong. Okay. Why in the heck are you, buddy? Why? Why? It won't let me for whatever reason. Open a new tab, please. Aha, here we go. So you posted earphones. There we go. We got it. Copy. And all right, I found it. So give me just a second. And I will drop Cheryl's TikTok page here, copy link. So if you want to go follow Cheryl, please go do that over on TikTok. And give me just a second. Like I said, I've got too many freaking things open here. So here we go. I've got her video up and raring to go. So let me share the stop sharing and then reshare video slides. Share screen. Yep, there we go. Nope, there we go. All right. So this is from Cheryl in the chat there. Let me make sure everything is set and correctly shared out. Yep, it's shared out. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the audio on Cheryl's stuff real quick. Okay. This is at 400%. So if you have earphones, this is what is going on. Cheryl, if you'd like to call in, 931-994-6917 or grab that link that said I'm about ready to drop in the chat here. Just follow along with the instructions and come on aboard. We'll talk about this particular event. 931-994-6917. Give me just a second. I will up the audio on that one more time. Actually, I can probably up it to about 800%. Give me just a second. Okay, this is 800% of normal. Okay. Whoa. Now I'm hearing my voice. What sucks? What the hell? Okay, got it now. Now I'm not hearing my reverb in my audio. So what's happening is I have put 3 volume increases, and right now it's at 1,034% of normal off of the video that let's see. Hold on, Cheryl in the chat has shared with us from her TikTok, and I've dropped her TikTok link to her channel, and also the TikTok to that video that we're currently seeing. So this is, I guess, in her backyard. So here we go. Give me just a second, and we'll turn this back up. Okay, I'm gonna play this one more time, and then we'll start talking about it in the chat. Okay. Let me turn this down real quick. Turn these particular blocks off. So if somebody does call in, it's not going to blare out. And I apologize for the folks that if I over modulated my particular microphone, I apologize for that. But there you go. This particular audio came from this TikToker right here, Cheryl Chandler. So go follow her over there on TikTok. Yes, please. Hey, Gil, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. We are talking about monsters tonight, and looks like I've had a interesting. What is this? Yeah, interesting night. Had a couple pictures. One from Brown Dwarf from earlier, and I pulled some TikTok videos. But there you go. I'd love to talk to you, Cheryl, if you'd like to call in. I know I've already asked a couple times, so if you don't want to, that's great. If not, great. But thank you for sharing that. She's going to get some trail cams. Okay, that's cool. Definitely, that is cool. I'm not exactly sure, like with Cheryl, where are you located, by the way? Where is this recording coming from? That's my next question. So Cheryl says, I will another night. Well, all right, that's fine. That's one of the things about this. Would you believe when I first, I'll still do it. I get stage fright. And I can remember, being in front of a crowd of 300 plus people. And I was perfectly all right until a couple of kids in the front row started to try to make me laugh. And then I just got stage fright just like that. So in Arkansas, Magnolia, Arkansas is where she says this might be. Is that where that audio came from, in Arkansas? Now I can't say that I don't have a recording. This is just a coincidental discussion. We have talked at I've talked about Bigfoot and other creatures being able to mimic. I'm sure Brown Dwarf and a few others in chat will say that, yeah, they can mimic other creatures and stuff. Here, while I'm out on my back porch riding or whatever, sometimes I, do the actual show on the back porch, but I'm actually doing this in my bedroom in front of a green screen back here. I heard the strangest owl hoot, and it's rare that I hear an owl in my section of where I live, even though I'm pretty freaking close to the national forest. And it almost sounded like a strained owl hoot. And I can honestly tell you that I don't think it was an owl. But I'm not an expert in anything like that. Couldn't tell you other than it was strange to me. So, and Cheryl says they do mimic. They have to hunt, so they have to mimic. Yep, I agree with you. Arlene, how's your mama? Did she smile for you? James says, got my attention, Sean. Well, that's great. I'm glad that I got your attention. If you have any other evidence or you want to share a story or video, audio, you can either drop me a link in the chat over here on YouTube and Chasing True Sean G, or send me an email at SeanGraham@IamDarkWaters.com. SeanGraham@IamDarkWaters.com, or call in 931-994-6917. And my email address has changed slightly because DW had to change the server. It was Sean G, but he lengthened it to Sean Graham. So there you go. Drop me a link there. You can also use that after hours or whatever. But there you go. Or you can actually text me. Let me see if I got a text. Let me go look back here at text. If I got any text here. Holly, I did get your text, by the way. And if Doll's in the chat, I've got your text in the past. Let's see who else. Mike Flint. I need to get in touch with Mike again, the UFO guy that I had on about last month sometime. Talk to him again. Let's see. Somebody, who is this particular person that sent me a big long text, and I just got it. Apologize for that. Now, if you send me a text, if I see, I actually got your contact number, which is great. Said something about Carrie Cassidy's Camelot Project is another place for good info. So I've heard of it, never been there. Ellen from Canada. Hey, Ellen. Appreciate it. I did get your text, and I'll reread it, and then I'll give you a call back or whatever here in a little bit. But Jayla has a cool YouTube channel. Dogman is excellent at mimicking dogs, according to Donnie. From what I have been told by folks that are in the know, supposedly in the know, they like to run with coyote packs for whatever reason. And they like to run in packs too. And if you believe here's one thing I will let you guys know, that I don't believe every dog man story that comes out. I probably believe about one. Get me to actually start paying attention is probably a third of the stories that I have come across that I will start paying attention to. And then if it is of something that I will say, well, is it real or is it fake? I've had a bunch of calls personally, received calls, and I'm not saying every call I've got was fake, and I'm not saying every call is real. James says 1/4. But I got a call one night, probably about 3 years ago, from a guy from Central Tennessee. Well, Dark Woods, appreciate you dropping by. Have a good night, brother. Definitely follow his YouTube channel, Dark Woods there. But I got a call about 3 years ago, and I can't, for whatever reason, his name escapes me. But he ticked off a bunch of, a lot of people already know Dogman has certain glowing eyes, big long ears, that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure this is probably, something that is incorporated with every creepypasta out there, that anybody that has an encounter with the Dogman usually affects their home life. Meaning that once it becomes dusk, or once it becomes dawn, or in the middle of the night, they are not outside. And this guy, you could hear it in his voice, the inflection in his voice, talking about he lived on a farm and he would not allow his family, his grandkids, to go out after dusk. He would wake up and have big, huge paw prints, bigger than the wolves and coyotes around. And the ponds around his property had these humongous paw prints around the water supply. So, and that caught my attention. And I can honestly tell you, right up to the point where he started talking about how his home life had been affected, I was like, yeah, that sounds like every other story I've ever heard about Dogman. Other than Greg Connor in the chat uh, was a wellspring of some of the early stuff that DW has put out. And I've spoke with Greg at great length, and he can attest to this, that he and I have been on the phone for hours and hours at a time. And his stories have not changed. Actually, the creepiest one was the story of whatever he saw in the graveyard, whatever shade ghost that was. The other stuff about Dogman in his backyard looked like a really cute fox. He told me that the fox, if it was behind bars at a zoo, he would have said, yeah, that was a cute looking specimen. But this was out back of his backyard while he's in his bedroom, looking out of his bedroom window from his trailer. And that's the craziest thing. And these things, it said it sort of looked like a cat's fur, like a Siamese cat, is what he told me. Kind of crazy stuff, but there you go. So for the folks that have not heard, which I'd say probably the majority of you folks have heard, Carrie Arnold is no longer with us. He unfortunately, was in a car accident yesterday, and prayers go out to his family, Linda, his wife, and family and friends. I'm not going to go into great detail about it, other than he was in a car accident, lost his life early yesterday morning. I never spoke with the gentleman. I did not have that blessing to speak with him, but apparently he was one of, I know he was one of the best around in the community. So and he's a great storyteller. He did some great documentary work, and he was definitely boots on the ground. And Greg says he still doesn't go out after dark. Now, if anybody has a Second Amendment believer and utilize that constitutional right that we have of the Second Amendment, Greg is one of those fellows. And if he doesn't go out after dark unless he has to, that's saying something. So there you go. But yeah, so tonight we went over a couple of videos, and then we went over the Sierra Sounds and that Beth recording from Central North Carolina, which I'm going to have her on board. I will hopefully talk to Holly's mother within the next few days. And hopefully I'll get her, at least have a recording of her and have her tell her side of the story, which I didn't get permission directly from her to tell her side of the story. But other than, holy heck, the hairs on the back of my head stood up when she told me what was going on and Holly's mother's like 72. Her name's Shirley. Some of the stuff that Holly grew up with, good God, holy cow. But Rothian says, I'm not Al and not afraid of the dark. I know what's out there. Okay. Oh, she said you can. Okay. Well, I will take your word for it. Holly arranged for me to talk with her mother, Shirley. As Shirley is one of the sweetest people you would want to talk to on the phone. And, straight off the bat, you could tell, she liked to talk, and at times I like to talk. And obviously, I wouldn't be able to do the show unless I can force myself to talk. I'm usually an introvert myself. I would shy away from having a conversation with somebody new unless I force myself. And that was one of the things where I was a regional sleep manager for sleep labs across Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. We were working in Kentucky and North Carolina. So I had to be an extrovert because I got paid. Big deal. I could force myself to do that. But Holly's mother, we hit it off just right. She is moody though. I love her. Well, you get to 72 years old, Holly. You have every right to be any mood that you want to be in. You get to that age, why the heck not? I wake up and I decide I don't want to talk to another soul today. You have every right to do that. Or you can be aggravated or whatever, but I love talking to Shirley. So Shirley's 72 years old, and she tells me about family history, how she grew up, a little bit about what Holly grew up with in her household. I'm not going to use your brother's name because one, Shirley said that he did not want to have his name mentioned. And I left my notes outside. My notes on that particular conversation's outside. So I'm not going to mention the kid's name that babysit while you were like 7 years old. So here's one of the stories. Here's what's creeped me out. I'll jump to the creeping out part. Holly's mother, Shirley, told me that her mother was a witch and grew up with 4 grandfathers in the house. Now, Holly, you can stop me if you don't want me to say any of this stuff or whatever. You can stop me right now. But 4 grandfathers in the house, and apparently they've a rather large house kind of deal. She grew up with the occult, had 7 other siblings. I think she was the second oldest with one brother, and the rest were kids. It's okay. Okay, Holly. All right. So Holly's aunt, and I cannot, for whatever reason, her name escapes me, but she's a witch as well. And her mother, her great grandmother, her grandmother's a witch. So that being said, Holly's mother is a Christian, and I'm just going to put it out there. Holly's mother's a Christian. So what happened was she goes to tell me about her sister and her early life as when she was in a marriage. And her aunt's now ex-husband comes home as her aunt is talking to something in the mirror, a demon in the mirror. So this demon is talking and telling her aunts to go to a graveyard and dig up a baby skull and bring it back. And as they're talking, her then husband walks in and hears and takes part as part of this particular conversation. Hears this and says, "Oh, hell no, I'm done." He leaves and divorces her. I have never met all my mom's siblings. She kept my brother and I away from them. Yeah. Well, she told me that during all of this paranormal activity, that you told me a little bit about it. And Holly is, one of these shy type of people that you can hear that she doesn't like to talk to new people, which I praise her for being able to talk to me. And I've had a couple of conversations with and Holly since then, and she's kind of gotten a little used to talking to me. She doesn't have that nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof inflection in her voice. But one of the things that she told me about, there was a babysit. She did some babysitting for a friend of hers, and Holly at this time was like 6 or 7 years old. And the kid that she was babysitting along with Holly come over to this brand new house in I can't remember the town. Well, the town is it was in Texas. Town is it doesn't really add to the story, but this is a brand new house that they're in, and the kid sees this entity with very long ears, green, glowing eyes. I believe it was glowing eyes, and a very very long tail hanging off the chandelier, and he screams out and says, "I got to go home," and absolutely would not come back and allow Holly's mother, Shirley, to babysit her. Him, not her. So, that being said, I think Holly's brother actually moved out because of a lot of stuff that happened. And I'm going to go down what Holly's brother may have occurred, which, is spooky as hell. After Holly's brother moved out, uh, Shirley, her mother, tried to incorporate and do activities with her. And Holly said he had a monster in the house. Yep, that's exactly what happened. But what happened was Shirley said that she was trying to pay attention to Holly and kind of comfort her and include her in activities. So she said, one of the things we had to do was, daily house duties or, weekly house duties of, cleaning clothes and, washing clothes and folding them and whatnot. So she brought Holly back and said, "Hey, Holly, would you like to help fold clothes and put the towels up?" So she had Holly hold out her arms and proceeded to put towels in the washcloths and whatever incidentals that were clean, folded up and put in her arms. And she had to go, Holly, down the hallway to the bathroom to store the clean linen. And Holly's brother had moved out by then, but they kept the door to Holly's brother's room closed. And what had occurred was, as Holly was going down the hallway with this armful of linen to the bathroom, wherever they stored the linen closet, passed by Holly's brother's bedroom with the door closed, and she Shirley said that a big black arm with a big black hand. I can't remember if it pushed Holly or knocked the towels out of Holly's arms. And she went screaming back to her mother. And at that time, they had already started sleeping in Holly's mother's room. It was because of a Ouija board. Oh, yeah. So the door wasn't closed? Well, okay. Well, I must have got that wrong, and I apologize. But what I remembered of the conversation was the door was closed. So you're making me want to call in. Well, call in 931-994-6917 and call in if you'd like to. So what had occurred before all this happened to where Holly's brother moved out of the particular house, this brand new house their family called in or moved into. And I haven't got to the part where she had Holly's mother had an out of body experience, but I'll get to that point. So they both the kids, her and her brother, not moved in, started sleeping in Holly's mother's room, Shirley. And the crazy thing was that there wasn't a lock on the door in some way. Read my email. Okay, I'll read your email. Give me just a second. Let me pull her email up. The crazy thing was, Shirley said that she some way somehow took a knife and fashioned a lock, or locked the particular door with this knife, so they couldn't do whatever. And one of the conversations I had with her, Holly's mother Shirley, said she was laying in bed and this black mist smoke thing formed in the corner of the room and formed a really ugly version of her mother, Shirley. It looked like her. And I asked her, well, did this thing speak? And she said, no, it attempted to speak to her. And she started praying to God, praying to Jesus Christ. And this thing finally left. And Holly just said it was because of a Ouija board. And apparently they had her mother collected Ouija boards, if I remember correctly. How do I call in? 93 without echoing. Hopefully it won't echo. But if it does echo, I can hopefully just turn my audio down on your end so it won't echo on your end. So when you jump on, I will turn my echo off on your, so you won't hear me. So hopefully that will take care of it. So the other thing is, if it's echoing, make sure that the audio on the YouTube is turned off. So another encounter was after this mist dark thing. You're okay. Well, don't call in. I don't want to make you any more upset or anxious than email first. Okay. Give me just a second. Let me pull that email up from Holly, and I'll read it to you. How's that? Give me just a second. I got to open my email from Dark Waters. Extinguish your device. All right. So, let's see. Is this it? Aha, here we go. Had to let it fashion and show up. Says, this is from Holly. Says, this thing with the Ouija board was a lot of people who were there were blaming other people for moving it. So what Holly had told me was, or not Holly, Shirley told me that Holly could touch a board and the board planchette would start moving around on its own. Now, what Holly told me was that this would spell out stuff on the Ouija board, but she then later found out that it was definitely spelling out words in reverse speech. So, that being said, we had one person writing down the letters on a notepad because it was moving so fast it was hard to keep up with it, but it was gibberish until I forgot who. I think my cousin realized it was spelling everything backwards. They had pages and pages and pages written down of what the thing was saying. Each word is spelled backwards, and this is something nobody could have done. People were asking random questions on the fly. I answered every question. There's no way somebody could know how to spell words backwards so quickly. This only added fuel to the fire because then more people want to come over and get on the Ouija board at our house. You would think I would learn my lesson after what happened to our house, but then years later in life, I got back on the board. I knew the occult was real. I knew the Ouija board really worked, so I dabbled with it. Did my mom tell you how she used to collect them? No, she didn't actually. She didn't tell me that she collected them. Old ones made out of wood carved, which I actually know a person that actually made Ouija boards. It was her hobby. So, yeah, I absolutely believe that they're out there. Very ornate, unique boards, things that you don't see anymore. She said had them hung up all around the room. She called it the Halloween room. Now this is years later than when she moved and opened antique store. But there was one board in particular that worked really well. I would be sitting there, and all of a sudden, something would pop in my head and my mind, telling me, "Get on the board, get on the board." I put my hand on it and went ice cold, kind of like when your hand goes to sleep. Oh my! I did not just have my fingers on it; it would. I had my entire hand on the planchette, the plaque, as it's spelled, but not pushing down heavy, kind of most barely touching it. It started moving, and I realized it would move on its own with just me. It would have told it would tell me all kinds of things. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around a lot in this time frame. When I was in my early 20s, I had a apartment in which a friend of mine went into a coma and later died at a hospital. Oh my, I'm sorry to hear that. I was torn up by it. I got some paper and I made a Ouija board. I used a clear plastic cup as a pointer. Again, this popped into my head. I need to get on the Ouija board. Didn't matter. I didn't have one. I needed to make one. Whatever was talking to me told me it was my friend. I can't explain to you what the emotions I felt. It teased me and joked with me just like it would. He would. I guess that was the late passing of their friend, her friend. Even asked me to play a song that was his favorite song. Excuse me. He said that where he was beautiful. Now, I wonder, though, was it him? Because I don't think it was. I think it was something pretending to be him. But I can't still say, but I still can't help but wonder sometimes. Anyways, again, about the Ouija board, I was dating a guy that didn't believe, so I said, put your hand on the pointer. And I put my hand on top of his hand so he would know I wasn't moving it. I started moving. He literally screamed and threw the board as he was scared. Anyways, just some more of the weird stuff that's happened in my life. Can't believe how emotional I get over this. I've told my husband all this, but talking to somebody else about it is really rehashing a lot of emotions. I'm going to put the armor of God on now. God bless you, Sean. Holly. So, I believe the story. And I hope I still have. I'm gonna say spiders. I've got kind of a sixth sense of whether somebody's lying to me or not. I can't say it's on overtime, and I've been without a doubt fooled in the past. So, but I believe Holly and her story, and I believe Shirley and her story. Now, Shirley grew up in a household that was full of the occult. Holly's mother. Sorry about that's okay, Holly. If you see how I write, oh my God, my grammar is just atrocious. But your grammar is absolutely 100% okay with me. And Sheldon says absolutely real. Claire Ellis, hey Claire, hadn't seen you in a while. Glad you popped by. So, where am I going with? Holly's mother Shirley told me this story that I can't remember your dad's name right off the top of my head. It's on my notes, which is out on my table outside on my back porch. And I apologize. I didn't think I would be telling this story so soon. So I didn't do my due diligence and reread my notes that I took. So anyway, Holly's dad did a lot of working. And on the days he had off, they had a rental hunting property that he would go out and one, set up to bow hunting season, tree stands, and train their hunting dog and whatnot. So every moment that he had free, he was out, preparing for a hunt. Rarely was he home. I'm not exactly sure if it's Harold or not, but anyway, one night, Holly's mother Shirley was laying in bed, and she told me that she had an out of body experience. Shirley, not Holly. Shirley had an out of body experience, and she said a cord was attached to her and her ethereal body. Now, I said ethereal. She referred to it as a spiritual. I can't remember. It's either ethereal or spiritual, but you get the sense of how you do. What I'm talking about. And she told me I had her tell Norman. Norman, there you go. Thank you, Norman. Why that was so hard that I couldn't remember, but Norman. So I had her tell me this story twice. Once, that was one of the first stories she told me, and then later on, at the end of the about 2 hour conversation I had with her, astral dreaming. Yeah, Amy says, astral dreaming. So Shirley was making sure I understood what was going on. Her body was in the bed, but she had an astral body that was attached to her body through this cord. She called it an umbilical cord. And I let her tell the first story without interruption or asking questions. The second story, telling, I asked a few questions. When she got to the point where she was telling me about the umbilical cord that was attached to her astral / ethereal body, however she used to frame that up for me, I asked her, said, what color was the cord that was attached to you? And she said it was like intestines. And I said, oh yeah, like an umbilical cord. And then we went into like a side chat about, she never saw an umbilical cord, even though she had 2 kids, which kind of makes sense. I know what an umbilical cord looks like. I helped gave birth in the OBGYN, OB places more times than I can count. So I know exactly what an umbilical cord looks like. And it does look like an intestine. So strange, but Holly, maybe Sean will do a pre-recorded, so maybe you're less nervous. Well, James, I have talked to Holly a couple times, and this last time I talked to her was maybe for a handful of 5 minutes, give or take, and that was the least nervous I've ever heard her be on the phone with me. The first time she called me was in the middle of the night, and you could the tension in her voice, the nervousness in her voice almost made me nervous listening to her, and I was like, okay, Holly, it's okay. It's just me. I'm not going to bite or anything, but it took her a little bit, probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes for her to relax to where she wasn't so nervous. So, but the last time I talked to her, she wasn't nervous, or I didn't hear the inflection in her voice. So, long story short, Shirley, after going through this whole lengthy explanation of, did I understand what was attaching her body that was in the bed to her spiritual ethereal body? I said, yes, I absolutely know. But once she got to that point, she said, I floated out of my body above my bed, above the roof line. And then she started flying around in the neighborhood, which was new to her. And she never, she had a feeling that she didn't like the neighborhood from what I remember about it. But she'd never physically been through the neighborhood, or never went through the neighborhood in a car or walked the streets or whatever in that neighborhood. She just didn't like it. She got a bad, crazy feeling, and had a lot of evil feelings that manifested in rotten feet, sneaker feet, wet sneaker feet. As kids, you come in and you got rotten sneaker feet, that weird, crazy, foul, odorous smell, plus stale cigar smoke, and she knew there was a bad presence around. So she had this floating and floated around the neighborhood, and all the while her body was connected to her with this cord that she referred to as umbilical cord. And then for whatever reason, it snapped back. She's been pulled back by her umbilical cord, and forgive the medical terms, which it's easier for me to use medical terms. Her physical body was in the supine position with the back on the mattress and her face facing up. Her astral body was being pulled toward her body in the prone position with her face facing down. And then as she went through the roof, her body was turned by the umbilical cord to where they were both in the supine position with her, oriented the same way, shoulders to the mattress. And at that time, it was one of the rare occasions where her father, Norman, was in the bed with her mother. And it wakes him up, whatever was going on, wakes him up, and said that her physical body was floating above the bed 6 inches. She went through, maybe it was 7, and then she went, well, you know how long a ruler is, 12 inches, so half that 6 inches. And she went through, she was, made sure I understand what was going on, which kind of lent to the credibility of the story. So what happened was, as she was coming back and connecting back with her body, she slams into the mattress and bounces out of the bed, which Norman at that time, from what I remember the story, says that she jumps out of the bed, which, from Shirley's point of view, she was slammed down in the bed and she bounced out of the bed with the reconnection of her astral body and her real body. And all that being said, that was, kind of a weird sensation, a weird story, but she connected the dots with the story. Later on, sometime later, she had her husband to drive around in the neighborhood, which she'd never been in the neighborhood before. And she reported that everything she saw in the astral traveling around the neighborhood was exactly what she saw as she was driving around in the car with Norman. And there you go. So, long story short, I'm kind of condensing a lot of stuff. This new place, this new first built house, they were the first family that was in this house, moves into this house, and it has all this spooks and supernatural stuff, which, Holly says it is part of using a Ouija board. Holly's mother was babysitting a friend of hers that was in like a similar age, 7 years old, 7 years old. And her brother had to move out because of monsters in the house. And they moved down. I think there was a family member fairly close that he moved in for years. He was out of the house for years. And then Shirley finally got in touch with a priest, and the priest instructed the family, you have to have the head of the household and all family members to be in the place at the same time and say a prayer, open the Bible up to a random page and start reading from the Bible. So she got all the family members, Norman, Holly, Shirley, and her brother, which I'm not going to say the brother's name. I can't remember the brother's name, but he said don't refer to that. Refer to his name. So find Danny. So they get together and started praying, and everybody was praying, and they started saying a reading from the Bible, whatever random Bible verse that they wound up randomly opening the Bible to. And then all of a sudden, as they were praying, Holly's chair, which she was 7 at the time, said it was a real little thing, started moving back and forth. Instead of tilting back and forth, it was moving left to right as she was oriented in the chair. So almost to the point where she was thrown out of the chair. And this awful smell of smoke and, rotten feet was in there. And as they finished or started reciting the Bible verses, they're lifted and the chair stopped moving around, according to Shirley. And then the sensation of this place was haunted left in the name of Jesus Christ. So, Claire says it's designed for UK insomniacs. Well, there you go. I've got a few friends from the UK, and some of them are insomniacs. There was one that was a big UFO buff and kind of got rid of being in that arena with the paranormal UFO for reasons. So, that being said, what had happened after that, it got to the point where Holly's brother moved and was satisfied that there was nothing. That played out over a year. Really? I don't believe she made a particular emphasized how long it was. She just emphasized it was over a period of time. I didn't know about it. It was over a year. But she said it was long enough to where a lot of stuff happened in the room. A lot of crazy stuff was going on with gray mist, with I think one of the monsters that was in her brother's room was a really, really old man, centuries old, thousands of years old, what Shirley said. And something else I can't remember. I think it was maybe that gray version of her that looked like they had tentacles. So anyway, one of the sensations after she saw this gray, Shirley, not Holly, Shirley saw this gray ugly version of herself, was she got that sensation of a bad smell, cigar smoke, rotten feet, and she felt her hair. She said she had long hair at the time. Said I was 7, but I remember enough. But she took the brunt of it. Oh, okay, that is interesting. What she was telling me how it was. She said the version I saw, and she didn't distinctly say that it was all Holly or whatever. The version of the stories that was told to me was these entities was focused on you and her to a certain extent. I will call her back and talk to her at great length. But holy cow. So she wakes up after having this entity form itself out of this gray mist, gray smoke that looked like her, and it went away in the name of Jesus Christ, praying to Jesus Christ. So what happened after that? This thing comes back, and she has this death. All hope falls out of the air, and she has this disgusting feeling, and she starts praying, and then she says her long hair, not the hair on the back of her head, and her long hair starts sticking on end, and she's in there like static electricity, and she says it snaps together. Her hair snaps together. I said, "Are you talking like clapping?" Or no, she said clapping. I said snapping. She said, "No, the hair was clapping together. It was moving around in such a wild fashion, this long hair of hers." And then she prays again, and then in the name of Jesus Christ, and it leaves. And I guess shortly after that's when she went to the priest and got the instructions with all the family be present to cast out this demon. And James says, Donnie catching demons with chopsticks, blindfolded. No offense, Donnie, but I wouldn't be around you chasing anything that has to do with paranormal. But that's just my opinion. But no offense, Donnie and chopsticks, paranormal hunting, good guy. But anyway, there you go. So some of the other stuff that happened with this was before Holly and his brother or her brother was born, before she got involved with Norman. As they were growing up, Holly's mother was steeped in all this occult stuff. Oh, really? Hold on just a second. Let me pop that up in the chat. Highlight that. Give me just a second. There we go. It was my mom's sister, who was very religious, sent drawings of the things in our house and told us we needed to pray the whole family together. Well, I may have gotten that wrong, Holly. I may have gotten that wrong. From what I understand, she went to a priest, but yeah, I just talked to her once, but I will defer to your explanation. So apparently I got it wrong. It was her mother's sister, her aunt, who was very religious, sent drawings of the things in her house, in our house, and told us we need to pray the whole family together. So apparently this prayer worked. And they opened up the Bible and got rid of whatever this haunting was, with the long-haired or a long-eared demon with a very long tail hanging off the chandelier, along with the misty version of her mother Shirley. That was an ugly version, and a really ancient, centuries old, thousands of years old man standing at the end of Holly's brother's bed. That's one of the reasons why he moved out. Monster kind of deal. And actually, one of the things that Shirley, the suicidal energy state and happen can affect you. One of the things with the 8 siblings, which Shirley was one of the 8 siblings, the second oldest, if memory serves, and all of them except for one of her aunts was Christian, if I remember correctly, and one was of a witch, along with her grandmother, Holly's grandmother, Shirley's mother. And as they were getting, my dad finally prayed with us. Yep. So I think with everybody being in agreement and praying, that was the key factor in getting rid of whatever this was in your house at the time. And that's my belief. So, Surreal Greg. Yeah. Have I got Surreal? I'm going to give you a wrench. If you want to drop whatever links you want to in the chat, go right ahead there, brother. So, where was I going with this? She said that her mother at a young age would take each one of the 8 siblings. My brother said it tried to smother him. Oh, wow. I think you told me that before. I'm not exactly sure your mother told me that, but I'm well aware of that particular thing, which, usually before I start telling these stories, unless I know you very well, me not doing this, I usually talk to the person at least 2 or 3 times. I got that off of Dark Waters to get the story particularly straight in my head. So what happened was, at a young age, Holly's grandmother would take her mother and other siblings, aunts and uncle, into this closet and start chanting and wailing and praying over them in some weird fashion, saying, "I'm going to lay hands on you and tell you what your past lives were." And from what I understood, every kid, I don't even know if she included the aunt that was turned out to be a witch, did this, but all of them went screaming out of the closet for whatever reason. That is just as strange to me that somebody would do that to their kids. But hey, world's a strange place. So what had happened was, I think, should I tell this? No, I'm not going to tell this, but there was somebody talking about suicidal energies, and there were suicidal energies in that family. And I'll leave it to that, and I won't go into stuff with that. I don't feel it's appropriate to go any further than that. But there you go. All right, folks. Thank you for joining this crazy monster show that I just did. We did some Sierra sounds, and I played Beth, a caller that called in the show twice over on the Dark Waters channel. Played some of her sounds from her backyard in central North Carolina, and I compared them to the Sierra Nevada sounds that are so popular. Happened was recorded in the 60s, I believe, and compared the two. So I think not Holly. Well, I know Holly's got some crazy supernatural stories. Tell me the story of Solomon explains a lot. Oh, actually, I'll get to that just a second. Thanks, James, for jumping in with that particular thing. That reminded me of something that happened in one of my dreams here lately. But we compared the North Carolina, Central North Carolina, whatever's happened in Beth's backyard to the Sierra Nevada sounds that have been popularized throughout all of Bigfoot dogman research and the Sierra samurai shattering kind of stuff. Crazy sounds, and I'm gonna be talking to Beth and hopefully Beth's husband, which I talked to them both briefly there for a little bit, but we'll get to that, and hopefully I'll have a show with them. Next little bit, I've got Ed. What is his name? Ed. Forgive me. He's a musician from, I think, BC, but into the paranormal. And I can't remember. Hold on a second. Let me grab the email real quick, and I'll tell you who it is. Inbox. Where are you, brother? Wes Michael. There we go. Ed Roman. Look up Ed Roman. He's into indie rock, but also does a lot of paranormal investigations, and we'll be talking about paranormal. I'm not, I love music, but I'm not that schooled in music that I can actually talk any kind of interesting, musical theory, anything. I'm not that kind of guy. I've got friends that are that kind of guy, and are musicians and go at great lengths with musical theory and stuff. But I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm going to bring him on and talk about paranormal conspiracy theories with Ed Roman. Roman. Look him up. I'm going to have him, I think, on the 23rd for an hour. And thanks to Wes for getting me that contact with him. Thaddeus Cray in the chat there. There he is. There's the brother right there. Brother from another mother just popped in. Follow Thaddeus Cray Wes's channel. He does some interesting storytelling over there with some his spins on it. So there you go. I think that's going to be on the 23rd, and I think it's on the Saturday. I'm going to have Ed Roman on for about an hour, and we'll be talking about conspiracy and paranormal theories. And then hopefully I will record a few things with Shirley and maybe with Holly and a few other people. You never know. But blues and G music, says Sean, music theory is like watching paint dry. Well, that's probably the reason why I never got into it. I love science. I don't know why science and me kind of not butted heads. That was the wrong gesture. Got together. But I love anything with science. So there you go. And you never know what you're going to get. But I'm going to play that thing here in just, let's play that last few seconds of what happened in Best Yard. So, end it, and then I'll end it with a prayer, and we'll get this thing going. Tell her I meant every word that will continue to promote her. Oh, cool. That's cool. Here is the Beth from North Carolina cryptid sounds that she's captured every day, and once a month it gets really bad. So here we go. All right. So that was Beth's cryptid whatever happening in her backyard in Central North Carolina. It's called in my show a couple times. I'm going to have her on for an entire show. We're going to be talking about a lot more than just what's going on cryptid wise, UFO wise, ghost wise, whatever is going on. There's a lot of stuff happening supernaturally on that property. Looks like you're riding down a cobblestone road in a horse buggy, Sean. Oh, is the camera? Oh, I'm shaking my leg. Sean, what about Solomon? Okay, Solomon. If you, I haven't done my there for 100 some days. It's actually probably 213, 14. I started writing on February the 11th. Do the math every day, except for 3 days. And I took the day off and I prayed about it. And I felt real bad that I didn't do any of that. But every night since I made this promise on February 11th of this year to God to write my particular near-death experience down, I have had a series of nightly dreams that include conversations with angels, the devil, uh, supernatural spirits, you name it. Now I've been talking to angels mostly here lately. I actually spent almost a week in hell. Every night I would go to sleep and I would be in hell. 220 days. If that is the right math from February the 11th, in 220 days. Yeah, that's probably it. But that being said, I've been having a conversation with angels, and I asked about the keys of Solomon, and I'll leave it at that. In my dream, and I am fully aware I am in this dreamscape. Oh, wait a minute. Here's Holly. Give me just a second. We'll get Holly on the phone. Wait just a second, Holly, and I'll get you on the phone here. Hey, Holly, what's going on?
Am I on live?
You are on live, unless you don't want to be.
Oh my god. All right. Okay. I can't believe I'm actually calling. Okay. The thing about, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The thing about that happened at the house. Okay. Now, what happened to my mother? that's what happened to her. You know what I'm saying? That, okay. It's just, I was 7 years old at the time, and my brother's 11 years older than me. Okay. He used to have a lot of friends come over to the house, and they'd party. My mom was kind of, she liked to hang out with them and stuff. And one of the things was to get on the Ouija board. And for some reason, the stupid thing liked me. Okay. When I come out there, I was a little girl, I go out there, I put my hand on it, and it would move. It would move really fast. Okay, this happened. I mean, this would go on like every weekend. Okay. And my brother's older. There'd be, people partying at the house and stuff like that. So it got to be, like a all the time thing, whatever. Well, I'm saying the Ouija board, it was like really freaked everybody out, because then everybody really got I guess excited over it when it was just, somebody call out the letters, because they'd be going so fast, to each letter, anyways, we call out the letters, right? And somebody write down on a notepad. Well, it's just gibberish. And then they realized it was spelling every single word backwards. And it was just going through pages and pages, just talking about all this stuff. So people were showing like, hey, this is, holy shit, this is real. So more people started coming over to the house. And then I had my cousins and aunt who lived on the street behind us. They came over there a lot. Maybe nothing at me. I think my husband's sitting here like, I don't know. Anyways, they come over, and it got to be like a big deal. My brother comes home one night, okay, he's drunk, and he walks in, and he's like, you know what? He's like, this is all bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. He's like, if this is real, he basically challenged. I remember him saying, I'm not going to repeat what he said, but he did a straight out invitation to for something to prove itself, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And that very night, I did not hear it. Okay, this time I was not scared. I was not sleeping in my mother's room. Okay, I was in my own room and everything. But I heard about it the next day. My brother, he was in his room listening to music. He starts hearing this growl, like a growl, and he said, he said that it sounded inhuman, and he thought my mother was like in pain in the living room or something. So he walked out of his room. He started walking down the hallway, and the noise was getting louder and scarier. And then he opened my mom's door and looked in there. My mom's in her room, and he went to go walk down the hallway a little bit, and then something, the hair stood up on his neck, and he freaked out, and he went in his room. He went back into his room, and after that, all this horrible stuff started happening in our house. I mean, like horrible stuff. It started kind of slowly, like just smells, rotted feet. It was like my mother would make everybody came over, she'd make them take off their shoes, and she would literally spray their feet with Lysol. And I'm not joking, okay? She'd get down and she'd smell their feet if she wanted to figure out where this rotten smell is coming from.
Yep.
And I remember being kind of embarrassed about this, but it was like, now, and I look back, I was kind of, I can laugh about it now, but and there were smells of cigar smoke, and it just came out of nowhere, just these smells, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then random things started happening, things getting moved around the house. Okay, now I'm 7 years old, okay, so I'm just telling you what happened to me from my viewpoint, okay, because I'm sure there's things, that happened, to them that maybe I don't even know about, because my dad never really acknowledged that anything happened. According to him, he thought we're all crazy, okay, I'm sorry, talking to my husband. Okay. When I saw the hand that came out of my brother's room, that door was not shut. That door was open.
Okay.
I was walking with towels, and I'm walking to the bathroom to go put them up. And an arm, it was like a silhouette, arm, shot out straight in front of me. I was like not even a foot away from it. It shot straight in front of me. And I remember screaming. I dropped all the towels. I was screaming. I went flying there to my mom. And I told her what happened. Okay. And I was so scared. Things that started happening. Noises started happening, banging, and booms that were coming from like nowhere. It'd be like in the middle of the night, and things would be banging, slamming. And my brother, he's in high school, and he came in there. He started sleeping not in the bed with me and my mom, but on the floor by the bed, because things started getting really scary. It was like somebody was like beating literally on the door to the bedroom, beating and pounding. And my mom was like, look at my brother, like, is this a joke? Did you have somebody come over here and do this as a joke or something? And he's like, no, my brother, we were all terrified. Finally gets up, goes there, and flings the door open. There's nobody in the hallway. There's nobody out there. And then all of a sudden, like, nobody wanted to be left alone, basically. So I'm like clinging to my mom, we're all walking down the hallway. This is beating on the front door. I'm talking so loud. The thing was shaking, okay? And my brother's telling my mom, don't open that door. Don't open that door. Don't open it. And anyways, eventually he went and left the peak hole, and there's nobody out there, right? And this started happening every night. And like my dad's like, nothing's happening to him, My mom, it's like I would hear whispers. There's this. I see. It sounds so vanilla compared to what some other people talk about, babe. If you were there and this stuff happened to you, it's horrifying. Okay. One night I was sitting in my bed. I had a water bed, and I was sitting with the door open so I could see my mom in the bathtub while she was taking a bath. You could see it from the way the house was. Sorry, I probably sound like an idiot, but you could see the bathroom from where I was sitting on my bed. Okay, and I always wanted to have her in eyesight. And she's taking a bath, and I'm sitting there, everything's all fine. And then suddenly at the foot of my bed, and just for a brief second, okay, something stood up at the foot of my bed, and it looks like a hunched over shadow, okay? But it stood up long enough to, like, this thing was there, okay? And then it bowed back, ducked back down to the foot of my bed. And I was so scared. I started screaming at the top of my lungs. I remember shaking. Like, it's so vivid in my memory. This is so vivid in my memory. And I remember I was shaking so bad, and I was like drenched in sweat. I was like, my head, my hair was plastered to me. I remember my mom coming in there because, the first season that she's seeing, I'm saying, she's doing her boat bath, and so she saw me, and she was running in there. She grabbed me out of the bed, and she's hugging me. And I guess in my mind, I was trying to rationalize things. I remember I said the silly thing. I was like, is that Randy trying to scare me? Yeah. Yeah. It was like, that my brother's trying to scare me, and it wasn't my brother. There's like no way he could be in there. I had a water bed. No way he could be under my bed. I was trying to rationalize, but it terrified me. It scared me so bad. And again, it doesn't sound scary, after some of the stuff I've heard on your channel, or it's heard in general, but it was terrifying for me. It was so terrifying. My mom, she'd be on the phone for hours with people, and I'm like a little girl, and I'd be clung to her while she had one of those like really, really long phone cords, that drug around the house and everything, and I'd be stuck to her because I would be so scared. If I wasn't outside, I'd try to be outside playing as long as I could until I'd come in that damn house. And, I'd be stuck to her like glue. Well, one of her sisters, okay, my mom's side of the family, it's, there's 7 siblings. Okay.
Okay.
One boy. Okay. And I have not met all of them. I don't know all my family on my mother's side because she wanted to just shield me and my brother from them. I mean, it's like out in beat ice. I'm just gonna be honest, white trash. Just my grandma was scary. She was just a scary woman. I feel like that. But she's if you looked at her, she looked. I mean, almost exactly like she looked like a squaw. She had a lot of American Indian in her. But she was open, like, so we go over there. She talked about things that my mom was like, no, mom didn't want us, around it or whatever. But okay, my brother, he starts freaking out. He's in his room and he woke up, something was smothering him with the pillow. He couldn't get off. He couldn't get the pillow off his face. It was. He said he was banging on his headboard, banging on the wall, and banging until he could finally fight this thing off of his face. And my brother, he moved out soon after that. He moved into my dad's parents' house, and they weren't very friendly. I mean, my granddad was real nice, but my dad's mother was not a very nice woman. At least not to me, my brother. So it's pretty amazing that he wanted to stay over there. Anyways, he moved over there because he couldn't deal with it anymore. I'm all jumbled because I was not prepared to talk about this. But I remember one morning I was in the bathroom and getting ready for school, and I had earrings that my mother, I was cleaning in the not the jewelry rack. It was like a bottle of alcohol. You could take the cap off and you put the earrings in the cap, and all of a sudden there's like this sound of slamming cabinet doors, and it's like coming from the other bathroom, right? It's like boom, 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 boom. But it's just me and my mom there, okay? So my mom's like, what the hell? So she goes up there to look, and I'm freaking out. She comes back in, my earrings are gone out of the thing, and she's like asking me if I moved them, and I'm like, no. And then she's like, what happened to the earrings? I'm like, I don't know. They weren't in the thing anymore. And then I started crying, and then they were found later. They were sitting in the sink in plain view. It's I can't think of everything right now, Sean, but it's just like a lot of stuff happened. A lot of it's the little things, like hearing whispers, seeing shadows, horrific smells that's coming out of nowhere and then disappearing, just things being moved around. And the fact that I feel like, I think about it, it's like it tried to break our family apart. And my dad thought we were crazy, and it made him want to spend more time away from the house. My brother, he left. He moved out, and I think like my mother caught the brunt of all this because she told me the things that happened like when she was there alone. And it's pretty horrifying. Well, one of her sisters, and who refuses to talk to any family anymore. I mean, she's like really religious, and she's like I guess the unique one or whatever. She contacted my mom out of the blue, and she told my mom that I forget exactly what, but something about something let her know that there was something in our house, and she said there's 2 of them. I'm going to draw pictures and I'm going to send them. She sent my mom these pictures. I remember one. It was like a lady. She's pretty, but she had like these really evil eyes. And the other one was like this hunched over old man. And it just and she said that he smelled real bad. So like all of a sudden it was like kind of like, okay, those things kind of fit in, you know what I'm saying? Like I saw a hunched over thing at the foot of my bed, and the smells and stuff like that. And then my mother, I believe she told you about it or whatever, but she told my mother like she thinks that this thing wanted to possess my mom, one of them. But there was a. Sorry, I'm talking to my husband. Okay. There was a time I was on we're all like I was scared to be alone, so my Dad, my mom, and I were all sleeping on their waterbed. Okay, my dad and mom's waterbed. So it was like my dad, then my mom was in the middle, and then I was on the end. I wake up, and something's pinching me, like like all up and down my leg, all up and down my back, and I was like laying there for a minute. I was like, what is going on? So I sit up, I look over, my mom's sleeping, my dad's sleeping. Okay. And again, I'm a kid, so I'm like, my mom's like, why is dad pinching me? And I was like, okay, my dad was not pinching me. Okay. My dad was snoring, on the other side of the bed. But my dad, he wouldn't do that. And it's just, it's a water bed. Okay. But I had something that pinched me all up and down my leg, all up and down the side of my back. And, my mom's like freaking out. She wakes my dad up, and he's like, "Oh well, we have bed bugs in or something like that. We should not have bed bugs, okay? This never happened again. Never happened to anybody else in the house, okay?" And again, my mother was like, "Hey, this woman in the pictures that my aunt had drawn, she had like a real long fingernails." So my mother was like, I guess this is, what that was. Things just started falling into place. But it was very, very terrifying. I can't begin to explain how terrifying it was. But yeah, he always talks about that. Yeah, my mom, she called me. She said, she asked me, please don't talk about this to anybody, because she was scared. Like if I talked about it at school or something, that they would take me away. That they would think she was crazy. Okay, so I never said anything to anybody about the craziness that was going on in the house, right? But she did. She babysitted this boy, and he came over. His mom would go to work so early that she has to drop him off, and I still wouldn't be getting out of bed for like an hour or so before, until I had to get ready to go to school. And I remember him screaming and screaming and screaming. And I remember him saying something like he thought we had gotten a cat, so he walked towards the kitchen, and he saw whatever he saw. He saw something that terrified him so bad, he refused to ever come back to our house. His mother was pissed. I remember she was calling, so my mom wanted to know what she had let him watch, or what she told something. She was mad. She was like, what happened that he is so terrified to come to your house? There's a monster in your house. And I never said anything to him about anything. That's like the only person who wasn't like in the family. You know what I'm saying, that had something happen to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of being in our house. And I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I remember was like me and my mom and my brother had prayed a lot, and my dad just always kept saying like, he's like, y'all crazy, or whatever. And finally, my dad agreed. He got my brother over there, and he agreed to he pray with us. And that's when everything stopped. That's when everything stopped. And for a long time, I was, but I will tell you about the chair rocking in just a second. But for a long time, I never understood. It's like when I tell people, when I did choose to tell people about the things that happened, so, they, later on in life, they always were like, well, why did it stop all of a sudden? And I was like, I never had an answer for them, because I didn't really know. And so actually, one time I was listening to a Dark Water said, he said, it takes the head of the household, and I snapped. I was like, oh, that's why it stopped. It finally made sense to me. And it was like, for the longest time, it's like, you tell people what's going on. They're like, oh, it just stopped all of a sudden, roll their eyes, look at me like I was, it's like, it's just not something I've talked to many people about throughout my whole life, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, but when that was going on at the table, our table was big, thick, heavy wood chairs. Okay, they were real wood, heavy. I was a little girl, and I was just kind of wheeling around the chair. The chair like starts rocking so hard, back and forth, back and forth. The feet were coming off the ground of it. Okay, my dad initially is like, oh, stop doing that, and then I started crying because I wasn't doing it, And my mom, she leapt up, she grabbed me, and she was holding me, and then I remember them getting in an argument about Dad thought, I was doing this. And my mom's like showing him, like, look, your mom's in the chair, and she can't make a chair move, okay? Not like what was happening to me, Like there was just no way. And I think that's when my dad really snapped to that. Remember he said, y'all are all crazy or it's real. He told us, he said, y'all are all have lost your mind, or if this is really happening. And he prayed, and we all prayed, and it stopped. It stopped. And
Wow.
my dad and his new wife, they still live in that same house. They still live there, and it's pretty wild. But I'll tell you one thing: having that stuff happen cemented my belief in God and also the devil. You know, I like, you know, I know it's real. I know the paranormal's real. But because on the negative side of it it made me very interested in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like how older. I guess I didn't learn my lesson, you know? And I've had, let's just say, I don't want to talk about it right now, but I've had, throughout my life, I've had a lot of stuff happen to me because apparently for whatever reason, this stuff, it likes me. But also I did dabble with things. I did dabble with tarot cards. I did dabble with the Ouija board and stuff like that because the thing would work with just me on it only, you know? It's like, you know, I'm like, okay, this is, you know, this stuff's really real. So of course it piqued my interest, you know? And that was the bad side of it. And you know, and it's like I've always believed in God. You know, I've always believed in Jesus Christ. But it came to a certain point in my life where I guess you could say I really gave myself over, and and I haven't had anything. I haven't had anything happen to me since 2013. And 2013 is when the last thing happened to me, and it was by far the most terrifying. And I did send you an email about it, and anyways, I don't know if I get into that right now, but it was because I mean, when I talk about that, what happened in 2013, even to my mother, I remember she's made some remarks to me that were kind of, I don't know what you call it, condescending maybe, or something. And I'm thinking of all people, why would you say something towards like, oh, you know, Holly saw this. I don't know how to explain it, like a rude remark, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, of all people, for, you know, it's not, or to make it sound like I'm crazy or something, or you know what I mean? Why we, oh, okay. Well, anyways, it's just, yeah, okay. Okay, sorry if I sound like a nut job on here. But, okay. Any questions? I'm not looking at the phone or anything like that. I probably will not listen to this episode because I'm so freaked out about what I sound like right now.
Oh, you sound absolutely great. The first time you called me in private, you could feel the tension in your voice, that you were super nervous. You sound
Well, I called you
very,
that first time, Sean, because I remember you were talking about prayers and how they mattered. And when I
absolutely.
something just like really told me I had to call you and let you know what happened to me when I was 16. See, it's like how do you tell somebody something when there's something that's real private and needs to be left out? It's like I feel like then it's not telling the truth. It's not telling the whole story. Or the story's not going to make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But okay, because it's like what happened was I believe I had near death experience, or I was very close to death. When I was like, I think that was 17. Something happened to where I can't. It's hard to. Something happened to where basically I was in a very dark place, and when I came out of this, I saw a bright light and I started throwing up, and then I was okay. Anyways, the next morning, my mother calls and she's like, "What happened to you last night, Holly?" She's like, "Something woke me up." She said around 3:30 in the morning. Woke her up and told her she had to pray for me. And she had to pray for me, and the feeling was so overwhelming that it was like letting her know that if she didn't pray for me, something horrible was going to happen to me. And she said she got out of bed, got on her knees, and she prayed. She prayed until dawn for me, and she kept asking God to surround me with the light, surround me with the light. And I tell you one thing, it was I was in total blackness until I saw a bright light, and I started throwing up. That okay, but there's no way she could have known this. There's no way. There's no way she could have known anything had happened to me. So when she called me, she asked me what was going on. You know, I broke down. I told her the truth about what happened, and I started crying because I didn't realize I was near death. I didn't realize, like, I was so naive at the time about what was going on that I did not realize that I was in a situation that where my life was in danger. Okay, but for whatever reason, and I was wondering, like, you know, if God wanted me help, why didn't He just help me? Why did it take prayers? Why did my mother need to wake up and pray for me? I don't know the answer to that, but it was necessary. It was necessary, or I truly, honestly believe I would have died. I would be dead. I would be dead. And she said she thinks it's because I wasn't saved at the time. And had I died, then I mean, that's just her theory. But I just want to let you know that that's why I called. That's why I called you that first time. I just want to say that prayers do matter. They matter so much more than anybody could ever know. They matter. Okay, let me get off the phone now. Okay.
Okay. Well, God bless you. I appreciate you
God
calling
bless
in.
you. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Okay. Bye.
All right. That was Holly. Sounds like she got a little intense in the conversation there. God bless her, and I'm proud of her for finding the courage to talk about it. Wow. Now, I don't know if you found that was of any weight. Yeah, I found that conversation that she was offering had a lot of weight and validity to it. Prayer is by far one of the most powerful things God has given us. By far. So just to let you know. All right, folks. So I want to, offer prayer to Linda, uh, Carrie Arnold's wife. Carrie Arnold, if you have not known, which I kind of believe that everybody in here has already heard. Carrie Arnold passed away early yesterday morning in a traffic accident. And uh, if you want to go over to Bigfoot Odyssey and look at the page and pay your condolences over there, or however you wish to do, but my condolences to Linda Arnold, Carrie Arnold's wife. I can't imagine losing somebody that close to you. But holy cow. Excellent calling, yes, indeed. So what we're going to do is, let me go ahead and just let me make sure I got this thing off here. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say the closing prayer and include Carrie Arnold and Linda in the prayer. So, Lord Jesus Christ, in thy love and mercy, establish your perimeter of protection around all of us and all our loved ones, those who pray for us and their loved ones. May the holy angels guard us and all our possessions, establishing a perimeter of protection around us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards in all directions of us. Ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind, that thou would strip them of any and all weapons, armor, power, illusions, and authority, that thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating or interacting with each other in any way. Remove them, sending them directly to the foot of thy cross, Jesus, Son of the Most High. Please, dear God, send your angels of mercy, comfort, healing, and support to Frank, Warren J., Shelley and Aiden, Amanda and Robert Quigley, Gracie, Julian Jeff, Sharon Guy, Patrick, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron and Erica, Lakea, AJK, Claire Ellis, Doll for Spiritual Strength, Gil and Jayla and Breland, plus their mama Janice, Stimulate, Carrie Arnold and Linda Arnold, be with each and every one of these folks. Bless them. Bless those folks that have unspoken prayers. Please be with them in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Folks, I appreciate each and every one of you for sticking around. Thanks again for Holly. Wow. And Brown Dwarf for sending in all those interesting videos. Or not videos. The Brown Dwarf for all his videos he's been sharing over on his TikTok. Plus, give me just a second. Let me look up Cheryl Chandler and her TikTok. Let me get her TikTok here. the lady that shared that audio on her TikTok, and I shared in the chat here. So if you want to go over TikTok and follow her, go ahead and do that. You probably find some interesting things over there. I think she's a brand new TikToker, but she shared some interesting whatevers on her back porch. And wow, all I can tell you is if you don't believe in the paranormal supernatural, if you don't believe in demons and you don't believe in angels, they believe in you. So thank you, Holly, for finding the courage to do whatever you needed to do tonight. And God be with you. Jesus bless you. And bless each and every one of you. And obviously to Lena Arnold. I can't imagine what you're going through. And his family members and their friends. So, wow, is all I can tell you. God bless y'all. If you want to reach out to me after the fact, 931-994-6917. You can text me. Now, when you text me, I usually, if I find the text that interesting enough or I need to talk to you, I will call you and talk to you that way. Texting on that platform, which is Skype, costs me like 11 cents per text. So I may text you and say, hey, I'll call you or whatever, or if I find that, I'll give you a call. Or you can reach out to me at Sean Graham at IamDarkWaters.com. And holy cows, all I can tell you, it's been a blessing to have you here to talk about these things. And like I said before, and if you want to be a part of my prayer chain that I have on my community post here, you can either go to my community post, find the prayer chain post there, and say I'd like to be a part of it, or send me an email, or send me a text message, or call me. Or if you need somebody to pray with, I'm your guy. I'm going to offer that. If you need somebody to pray with, pray for you, I will certainly pray for you. That was one of the things that God specifically put upon me. That if anybody needs prayer, I have to do it. Which, it's not that I have to do it from a perspective of God telling me to. It says I want to. So, good night to everybody. Good night to Holly. Thank you again for calling in. Be kind. Arlene, Andrea, Sheldon, Sue, James, Shelly. Let's see who else is in here. Donnie Cho. There's a Destiny. She just snuck in at the last minute. Glad you made it on time. Rothian. Anybody else? Well, hold on a second. I think that's about all that's been active the last little bit. But God bless y'all. And I will be back Saturday night. And you never know. I might be on a live stream somewhere or make a live stream back here again. I may be back tomorrow. I will try to figure out how to simultaneously go live on TikTok while I'm doing these live streams. I'm going to try to figure that out. I about pieced it together in my mind to, put it into whatever format to, heck, I've got 2 freaking computers. Why can't I do that? But I've been, my day has been without a doubt waking up and consuming what I dreamt of the night before, what God has shown me in those dreams, and try to write out what God has put upon me to write out. So I'm going to try to do that first and foremost and try to piecemeal this simulcasting to TikTok as well. But there you go. God bless y'all. It's 1:42 p.m. down in Australia. Wow. God bless Sue and Buddha, her son. Pray for them both, if you don't mind. And I think I'm about done with it. Holy cow, another for Wednesday night has come and gone, and you have all blessed me for showing up. Prayers out to everyone that needs them. And that's it. I'm gone. Goodbye. I'll see you on the flip side.